this John Farrell thing to Boston won't die. Is this bad for the ball club? Is this bad for the Toronto Blue Jays?
I think so. I think that you want the ball club to know that its manager, the guy that you have put your faith in as the skipper of the club, is going to be around. You don't want it to be debatable. Is this team getting picked apart now? Are they rebuilding? Are they getting rid of pieces that were promised to be there? Look, you have to trace back where this has come from. For me, I want to look back and say, should the Blue Jays react to this? Should they say something to this? And really, I think at this point they have to. I think you had made that point off air. I'm going to kick it to you in a second. But when you trace back to where this had come from, I thought this was dead in the water for a while. It really was. And then that monster trade happens, and suddenly there's questions stirring that are the Red Sox just dumping all these cancerous players and contracts and trying to rebuild? And if they were going to rebuild, who was the manager that they originally wanted? And then all these exclamation marks go up around Farrell. So now Farrell is put in a situation where he's going to keep getting asked these questions. And so what is the proper response to that?
And clearly he doesn't like to answer those questions.
No, he doesn't.
We don't know the length of his contract. The Blue Jays have been very tight-lipped about the length of his contract, when it expires, how much it's worth, if there's any options. We don't know any of that stuff because that's the way the Blue Jays choose to go about their business.
Do this. Yep.
Fair enough. They've been that way on several different items. Trade rumors, speculation, signings, free agency, all that kind of stuff. They've been that way. Close to the vest, tight-lipped. But I say, you have a manager who really doesn't like answering these questions. You have the ability to stop it. And as an organization, you get out in front of this thing and say, John Farrell is property of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's signed until that contract is terminated, and we're not going to tell you the length, and we're not going to tell you how much. Until that contract is terminated, he is a Toronto Blue Jay. We haven't discussed extensions. We haven't discussed anything with the Blue Jays and the Red Sox and compensation. He is a Toronto Blue Jay. Period. End of story. And should the media continue, like as we are doing right now, to speculate on this,
that's all it is.
Then that's all it is. But in the meantime, I think the Blue Jays are saying, hey, John, you're kind of out on an island here. You're going to have to continue to answer these questions. Now, the one thing I don't know, and I can't speculate on, is that they haven't gone to John Farrell and said, hey, John, do you want us to get out here and say something? Or do you want to continuously hear, read, and be asked about the speculation of this happening? That conversation may have occurred. If it did, I'm not privy to it. In the meantime, I'll just go with what I know. Get out there, get in front of it until the contract is terminated. You're not giving away any information, but you're saying he is a Toronto Blue Jay. Period. End of story. Now, if and when that statement is made, he is going to have to answer a few more questions, but then it should be put to bed thereafter. And allow this guy to go about his job for the final month of the season in a tough, long, grueling season.
And this thing really needs to die. It honestly does. At this point, and the Blue Jays need to put it to bed because it is not something the Blue Jays have spearheaded. It is not a topic that they've invented or brought up. This is a strictly reactionary thing. And so your first inclination, at least mine was, is to say, if the Blue Jays haven't started this fight, if they haven't blown this thing up, if they haven't started these rumors, which the Blue Jays haven't. No, right. This is completely generated from outside sources, from speculation. There's nothing from the Blue Jays camp that has indicated to anyone that there is even talks or considerations of trading him. And it's not.
But we've heard, and sources that you trust as well, it just isn't coming from one guy, that this thing almost happened last year, that the Blue Jays changed their policy. It has some legs.
Right, but it only has legs because it's the Boston Red Sox we're talking about, which is a train wreck. They are a train wreck this year.
As a team, but the media that reports on it, that we've heard this stuff from,
needs something. It's like Jerry Springer over there right now. It's anything that you can get your claws into to chew up and throw in the spotlight, you're going to go after.